The world has changed, and so too Japan. But Kyoto does not change. No doubt, some towering structures has started appearing among the low houses inherited from the past. But between them, the residents of Kyoto, to whom the 4 seasons of friends and neighbors retain under this position particular type of character that a person naturally has, that has always been there. Traveler, I wish you easier meeting with them at the centers of the street. Kyoto has a strict building regulations to protect its townscape. There are restrictions in materials of roofs, walls, roof pitch, and the color and size of outdoor advertisements. Kyoto was not targeted for bombings during the World War II. That's why you can still see many beautiful historical buildings throughout the city. To experience traditional temple, shrine, gardens, and festivals, Kyoto is surrounded by mountains and lies on a valley, round between the hills of mountains, basins, so summers are very hot and humid, and winters are bitterly cold. Kyoto Gosho, Imperial Place, served as official imperial residence, with some interruption from 1331 to 1868. When the emperor moved to Tokyo, Kyoto was a capital with Japan until 1869. Its Edo-era garden was centered by a luminous pond, where the nobility enjoyed elegant pastimes, such as pleasure boatings, moon viewings, and carp fishings. Spawning the water from the edge of the pond are drawn the bridges of weathered wood dating from the early Showa era. About being disappointed when I go to Kyoto, everyone assumes, without a proof, that the streets and the buildings are still the same as they were in the past, and that geisha are still walking here and there. But in reality, there are only a few historical places left in the modern city, and they overhyped it. But I wanted to visit Kyoto after all. I like traditional culture, so the second time I went, I decided to look at it from a new perspective. Paris syndromes, going to a town you admire and being disappointed to find it's not so great. I guess it's Kyoto also. Advise people who have the excessive expectations of Kyoto. Kyoto's charms are rather small and subtle, not loud, not noticeable in a quiet way. So take your time, soak it all, and enjoy it. Also, don't go to Kyoto the first time you arrive in Japan, because there is no comparison in other Japanese cities. I stay around the center of Kyoto, but the buildings are concrete, the blocks, and everywhere you go there are tourists. I thought that it would be less crowded than Kyoto, but there were many people on buses and trains and the subways, which irritated me. But I would like to go back and spend a different way next time. Kyoto as a keeper of the flames, a strain of a hot burning fire, founded as in 794. This city held sway as capital and home to the imperial court right until 19th century. Today, its unique identity lies from an unmatched legacy of history, culture, and religion, not relegated less position to the past, but handed down from generation to generation and carefully tended on the present for the future. This ancient city holds a special place in the hearts of the Japanese people and of the foreign visitors too, who have had a good fortune to make its acquaintance. Nearly 40 million tourists visit Kyoto each year, and they savor to enjoy food, experiences the swelling, and the treasures and the pleasure there. They also seek to touch the essence of all that is traditionally Japanese. Wonderful gardens were created on temple grounds. These cultivated spots stood in contrast to the areas of abundant and untamed to nature, which then surrounded them and in some cases still do. Their works and careful paintings that created beautiful scenes, infused with several layers of meanings. Some gardens emphasized changing landscapes as a viewer moved along a designated path. Others were meant to be seen through the entrancing frames of the windows or open doors. As the southern gardens came onto their own on one or another of the seasons, they embodied feelings of present anticipation, frequently created by the priests and the monks themselves. Many of the gardens sought to present a glimpse of a paradise on earth. Gardens enhanced his ambience too, and a masterly garden design was among the highly regarded aristocratic talents of the age. One of the ponds and the central element of the gardens, the nobility boosted, stroled, and lingered. The era was written by 11th century noble women's Lady Noble Murasaki Shikibu in she enchanting and fascinating that describe that resplendent, glorious, splendid, courtly world of leisure, where it was the order of the day and time was given over to the pursuit of witticism marked as clever and humorous poetry, beauty, and love. As that aesthetics culture reached towards its peak, imperial belongings or belongings to an empire or a person or country that has ruled. Power wane becomes weaker, strength or influence weak, giving rise to the samurai houses which would dominate the political life for centuries to come. On the surface, Kyoto people appears calm and gentle with their elegant use of Kyoto's unique language and a soft smoking manner. But in fact, they are very calculating and good at bargaining, so be careful as they are more demanding than others when it comes to their work. They are typical career types, so beware that they're more demanding than others when it comes to work, and because they value history, they do not change it that long and confusing the names of their towns, but rather take pride in them. They value family background and prestige, so they are concerned about the identity of others. And when they learn that someone is of a lower rank, they secretly feel superior to them. It is also tourism attraction, so it is relatively tolerant of strangers. However, Despite their affable nature, deep down they sometimes look down on people from other prefectures while they cherish it old. They are also highly interested in the new and the forward thinking enough to be the first to adopt new things. Everything Japanese is delicate, exquisite, admirable, curiosities, and dainty, small, dedicated, careful way object bewilders, confuses you by their very multitude. On either side of you, wherever you turn your eyes, and countless wonderful things as yet incomprehensible. But it is perilous, extremely dangerous to look at them. The shopkeeper never insists you to buy, but cherries are enchanted, and if you once be burning, you are lost. Cheapness means only a temptation to commit bankruptcy, for the resources of irresistible artist cheapness are inexhaustible. Japanese religious practice, famously war, cannot see clearly the lines between secular, not having any connection with religion, and sacred, not considered to be holy and deserved respected God. The Dharma activity area. Temples and shrines often serve as centers for entertainment and shopping. Small gatherings as for exemplary God is a story as much to please Shinto gods, and later tournaments were held at the Buddhist temples. Residences and shops also incorporated hundred hand Buddhist altars to honor ancestors, and Shinto shrines to protect the dwellings and family members of both Shinto and Buddhism shrines get erected along roadsides to ensure safe passage as through travelers. Until the modern period, Buddhist temple and Shinto shrines sat side by side in religious complex that reflected the Japanese pervading hybrid belief system, which coalesces two or more things as coalesces come together to form one thing or systems and heian period. This ideology promoted joint venerations of Buddhist deities and Shinto, which were identified as a native manifestos of the Buddhist deities. Alibi competitions between these two religions. A small minority of the Japanese population embraced Christianity after its introduction in the mid-16th century. People have mainly owed their spiritual world built to the intertwined belief system of Shinto, ostensibly in a way that appears as a claim to the one things, and in this phase, and Buddhism introduced from continental Asia in the 6th century. Both incorporated aspects of older Chinese philosophical religious creeds of Taoism, Confucianism, which became known in Japan at the same time as Buddhism. The history of Kyoto, more than 1,200 years old, is not one of show-off and curiosity seeker. For those who wish to drink from the city's cask a strong one on the one container, as culture makes as the most fragrant wine. Many cultures or pursuits, mature over all those centuries, still live and breathe throughout the city.